Hey everyone, Ryan Young, KAATARO Jiu-Jitsu. Hope you're doing well. So let's answer Jason's question today. It came over the YouTube channel. By the way, we are on Rumble. For those of you who like to go onto Rumble as well, the KAATARO Jiu-Jitsu channel is there. We've just started loading our videos on it from about 4 or 5 videos ago, so you can come see us on Rumble. This is in response to what it takes to get a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. Hey, I appreciate the truth about the black belt. It's hard getting your ass kicked day in and day out, plus getting injured. How can I find that balance to be able to want to train more when I'm just getting manhandled all the time? That is actually a very good question. So here's the thing. I'm a little guy, so I grew up in jiu-jitsu getting manhandled because I'm 5'4.5", and when I started jiu-jitsu, I weighed about 135 pounds. And that's like an A1, right? As far as gi size. And we have our average gi size at KAATARO Jiu-Jitsu in Flower Mound, Texas is an A3. So that's about 6 foot, about maybe 190 pounds. So you see the size difference, right? So when I started up, I started from Hawaii, so we didn't have a lot of big guys. And then I moved to California, bigger people. And then when I moved over to Kenny Gabrielson's school, in the late 90s, his average guy was over 200 pounds. So here I am. Back then, I was about maybe 140 pounds by then. Purple belt out of Hickson School. I transferred over to Ken's place, and I'm training with guys that are bigger and stronger, faster athletes, right? And it was tough. But at that time, I would train 5 days a week. What would keep me going? Despite getting manhandled and stuff? Well, I wasn't really getting manhandled because I knew what I was doing by then. But I did get busted up. And I always sought out the bigger guys because I had this thing in my mind. I don't know if it's kind of a sickness, but I always wanted to go up against and see how effective I could be against bigger, stronger guys. Sometimes I failed. A lot of times I didn't. But it kept me, every time I failed, it kept me coming back for more. I never really thought of it as me getting manhandled, though. I thought of it as a challenge to beat somebody who's bigger, faster, stronger than me. How can I out-technique him so that I can prevail? And I would say, more often than not, I prevailed. Now, there was a guy who was the same belt level as I, who was smaller than me. He was probably 125 pounds. So he's probably about 15 pounds lighter than me. And for some reason, that extra 15 pounds made a difference. We were about the same height, maybe an inch difference in height. But that 1 inch in height and that 15 pounds in weight did seem to make a lot of difference in the results. And I don't know if it was just me because I was trained differently than he was. He was a student of Kenny's from the beginning, whereas I had gone from Helson's to Horry and Hoist to Hickson. So I had a little different mentality coming up in jiu-jitsu because nobody ever took it easy on me. I was pounded just as hard as everybody else, and I was expected to do well. Think about it. One of our students in Austin is a fireman, and he's shorter than I am. He's a lot thicker and heavier than I am, but still, he's a little guy. I mean, he's an assistant chief or a chief now, I think. But he still had to go through the same thing that other firemen had to go through that were much larger, much taller, much stronger. But yet you figure out ways to do it. You learn to technique away some of the differences that you lose in physicality. Some of you have looked over our old video of the secret formula of jiu-jitsu, which is your technicality plus your physicality equals your overall game. Your T plus P equals your G. Now, what you lack in physicality, you have to make up for in technique. So if you're getting manhandled because you're a smaller guy, you just have to find a way to increase your aptitude in technique and get better in jiu-jitsu. You have to strive to be even better than the big guys are. The big guys can rely on some size and some strength and some power that you cannot. So you have to figure out how to use leverage, how to play the angles, how to put all your weight, how to concentrate your weight into a smaller more precise place rather than being out here, right? Learn to, if you know, in firearms terms, learn to shoot with a single bullet versus with a shotgun, which will cover more space in a single blast, right? The big guys, they can have the luxury of shooting like a shotgun because they can spread themselves out more than you, the smaller person, can, or me. You have to end up making yourself, you have to force yourself to be more technical. You have to force yourself to fight through mentally and figure out how to get out versus trying to power your way out. Yeah, because you can't. And I tell smaller students all the time, don't even try to power out, because you may be able to power out of this person, but you won't be able to power out of a bigger person. And I'll use a larger person as an example. I'll say, bigger guy, come over here, get on top. All right, now try and do what you just did. Obviously won't work. So let's go over the technical solution. Getting manhandled sucks, but don't look at it as getting manhandled. Look at it as making you have to think a little more to figure out the adequate solution and try to be more and more perfect in your jiu-jitsu. So Dave Kama is the one who told me this, but he would say that Rickson would tell him a technique or a concept isn't perfect to Rickson, until an 8-year-old girl can do it. If an 8-year-old girl cannot do it, he needs to refine it even more. So he's always trying to get whatever technique he's done, he's trying to make it more efficient, whether it be through connection, weight distribution, or angle, so that it can be better done by somebody who's smaller. If Rickson in his prime could do something, but found that a teenager couldn't do it, a teenage girl couldn't do it, then he would then say, I need to work on this some more because she cannot do it and she needs to be able to do it, right? Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is about self-defense. It's not just for self-defense for the big guy. Self-defense is needed by the smaller person because the smaller person is the victim. So as a smaller person, Jason, you need to just concentrate more on your technique and being more perfect, or as close to perfect or closer to perfect than anyone. So in your secret formula, your T, your technique needs to be high because your P, your physicality, is low. That way, if you add it all together, you can come across somebody who's much more physical than you, but not nearly as technical as you, and you can still come out the victor. So that really is the long way to describe a simple answer. Get better at your technique, right? But I think you needed to hear the context around which I would say that, right? That's why I just didn't say, just get better at your technique and then be done with it, right? Be easier, right? But I thought I'd give you a little bit more color on where I'm thinking, because I come from where you come from as well. And you just have to work on your technique and be that much better at it. Study the art, learn the art, and get better at it. And try to do it with as little strength and power and physicality as possible, so that when you do come up against that bigger, stronger guy, you can add your physicality back in. What little physicality you have will magnify your technique, and then you'll be able to prevail. But don't be discouraged when you're getting manhandled. Don't even think of it that way. Just think of it as, oh, okay, he beat me. Don't look at the size. Don't say he beat me because he's bigger. Look at it as he beat me because he's better, and I need to be better. And as you get better, you will start to notice the changes, and you will start to notice that jiu-jitsu is the equalizer that you're looking for. Anyway, like and subscribe. Hit the links below if you like. Come see us on Rumble if you haven't already. And come visit us at any of our campuses. We have one in Southern California in Irvine, one in Dallas, Texas in Flower Mound, and one in Austin, Texas. We'd love to have you come by. Also come visit us online at KAATARO.com. Take care. Happy training. Bye now.